Hi all. Okay, in this video we'll go over a simple example on how to use Solver. In the previous video we installed Solver into Excel. So if we start up Excel and if we go to the Data tab, we can see Solver is installed. Another way you can check to see if it's installed, if you go to the options and go to add-ins, you can see here at the top it says add-ins, Solver is installed. Okay, so what do we do with this thing? I have this Word file here that I use in class. It's just an example on how to use this stuff. I'll post this on the web too, so you'll have access to it. Okay, so just to run through this so you get a general idea of what we're doing here. You see here we have a formula here and we have 10 here. Okay, so we want to use Solver to fill in the blank. Okay, so B1 plus B2 is our formula. So what number needs to go in this spot? So when we click off this, the formula runs and it takes 10. It takes this 10 and sticks it in here. Okay, then we start Solver and it says, okay, where's our target cell? Our target cell is this one. That's our total. Okay, and then we can just click on this cell and Excel enters the target cell in here. Now you can see it's B3, right? B3. And when we let Excel enter in this cell location for us, it automatically enters the dollar signs. Okay, don't let the dollar signs mess you up. Hopefully you already know what that is if you're studying Solver, but the dollar sign just means it's an absolute cell. It means it's gonna stick here. It's only this cell. I'll do some videos on that later on. I have a few that will explain what an absolute cell is, but for now, just, you know, we're working with cell B3. B3. Okay. Now, what do we want this to be? We want it to be a value of 100. So we want to change this cell to 100. So click the radio button here and type in 100. And then say, well, by changing what cells? We want to make B3 100. We know we have a formula here. Solver has to have a formula in that cell. It has to know what you're working with. By changing cell B2, just click on this cell. It writes that cell location for you. And then just click the solve button here. And it puts a 90 in here. And you can keep the solver equation or you can cancel out of it. Okay, So let's see how that works. If we have Excel here, and just to keep the example as simple as possible, we'll go equals A1 plus A2. Okay, and we'll say, just to start things out, we'll go 100. Okay, so I hope you understand this here, right? When we entered 100 here, it took the values from these two cells and put 100 in here, because we created a formula in A3. Okay, now we want to use solver for this guy here. Okay, so we come over to the data tab and start solver. Okay, so we already had this cell selected, so it wrote that for us, A3. It just threw it in there. Cell A3, we want to set to the value of, we'll say 500. Okay, by changing what cell? You can click there and then just click this cell. It wrote the cell location in for us. Cell A2, $signs just means absolute cell. Click the enter key. Okay, so our target cell is A3. We want to make it 500 by changing what cell? A2. It knows we're working with the formula here because we told it we're working with that cell here. And then we just click solve. Okay, so it went out, it did the math for us, and it put 400 in here. So we could keep it or we could back out of it. Okay, we can run it again. And it's already set up. You can say maybe we want 800 here. And solve it. So now it's saying if we want 800 here, we got to put 700 here. Now, of course, this is a real simple example. You know, if you're doing the accounting thing, your solver equation might be a lot more complicated, but this is just a real simple one just to show you the basics of what solver is and what it does. Okay, so let's do one more just to run through it again. So here we'll create a formula. We'll go equal D1 plus D2. And we'll say we've got 5 here. Okay, click this cell, start solver. It wrote this cell in for us. If we wanted to, we could click here and change it. And then we want to set D3 to, let's say, 25 by changing what cell? By changing this cell here. and click solve. So in order to get 25 here, in order to get 25 in our target cell here, we have to put a 20 here, because our formula says D1 plus D2 and the total goes here. Okay, see ya. Bye.